Okay, so let's go ahead, and if you will log into ClassKick, you should see the Unit 0B writing assignment. So give everyone just a second to pull that up. All right, so if you look at slide number 2, we have a factoring problem where A does equal 1. So I'm going to do a problem that is similar. We have the A value, that's the number in front of x squared, is 1. Okay, so let's do, this is just an example problem. Remember, I'm not doing your exact problem. Let's do x squared plus x minus 6. Okay, so my A value, the number in front of x squared, would be 1. So in this case, I can factor just by looking at my last number and my middle number. Okay, so my last number here is -6. So because this is a -6, that means I'm going to have one positive and one negative factor. So the factors of 6 would be 1 and 6, or -1, +6. And then I would have 2 and -3, or -2 and 3. Okay, so I wrote out my factors of 6. Now I'm going to add them all together, and I'm trying to find out which one is equal to 1, because there's an imaginary 1 here. Okay, so 1 plus -6 is -5. We get 5. We get -1 and 1. So, as you can see, -2 plus 3 would be 1. So that means my two factors here are going to be -2 and +3. So I'm going to write x minus 2 and x plus 3. That's it. So when it says to factor it, that's all you're going to do is write it as a product. Then there's the third problem that we're going to do will show us how to find roots. But did you have a specific problem about or question about the quiz? Yeah, I do. What about them? Right. I remember that. So I'm going to show you how you're supposed to do it the correct way on not this problem, but the next one. That is part of the next problem. So for slide number 3 on your Unit B writing assignment, let's do, let's factor 16x to the third minus 4, actually, let's do, yeah, it's being recorded right now. Let's do minus 12x squared. All right, so in this one, we only have 2 terms. When we only have 2 terms, we're going to find the GCF and factor it out. So if I look at my 2 numbers here, 16 and 12, if I look at my 2 factors, I need to find the GCF. So I need to find, okay, Anna, let me, okay, Ben, we'll get there in just a second, okay? So let's find the GCF of 12 and 16. So I'm looking for the biggest number that goes into both. It's easiest to start with your smaller number, which would be 12. So that would be 1 and 12. Actually, let me space these out a little bit better. We'd have 1 and 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. So I'm trying to find the biggest number. If I start with 12, 12 does not divide 16 evenly. 16 divided by 6 is also not a whole number. So that leaves our biggest number to be 4. Exactly, Ben. Good. So our GCF for the numbers is 4. And then for x to the third and x squared is the most I can take out. So I'm going to pull out an x squared. Now, when I do this, I still have to rewrite what's left after I divide. So 16 divided by 4 leaves me with 4. I took out x squared, but I'm still left with an x, minus 12 divided by 4 is 3, and I took out an x squared, so there's nothing else left. So to factor this one, it looks like this. You're just going to pull out your GCF. You need to find the GCF of the coefficients, so the numbers, and also the variable. Okay? Alrighty. Let's take a look at slide number 4. This is the last problem you'll have to do. So this is slide 4. Okay, so let's say consider the equation x squared plus 2x minus 3. A says to write the factored form. So in this case, A is greater than 1, so we're going to have to use the asterisk method. To use the asterisk method, I have to know what A, B, and C equal. So A is 8, B would be 2, and C would be negative 3. So now I'm going to plug these in, so I get 8 and 8. I get 2. And then in the top middle is A times C, so 8 times negative 3, which would be negative 24. To find my missing numbers, I am going to list out all of the factors of 24, okay, negative 24. So that means one's positive, one's negative. So I would have negative 1 and 24, or 1 and negative 24. I would have 2 and negative 12, or negative 2 and 12. I would have 3 and negative 8, or, whoops, ahead of myself, negative 3 and 8. And then 4 and negative 6, or negative 4 and positive 6. So I'm going to add all of these together, and I want the one that gives me 2 as my answer. So this gives me 23. I don't need that. This gives me negative 23. That's not helpful. I get negative 10, positive 10, -5, +5, -2, and lastly, +2. Okay, so that means I'm going to have -4 here and 6 over here. Once I've found my two fractions, I'm going to go ahead and reduce them. So 8 over -4. If I divide the top and bottom by 4, I'm going to get 2 over -1. This is a really important step. You will not get the correct answer if you don't simplify. Okay, so make sure you simplify. On the right, I'm going to divide the top and bottom by 2, so I would get 4 over 3. Now, the factored form, the top number 2 goes with my variable, so 2x, and then the bottom is a negative, so I subtract it, -1. And then 4x, 3 on the bottom is positive, so I'm going to add it. So this is part A, which is my factored form. Okay. Part B asks for the roots of the equation. The root of an equation is asking you what number can you plug in for x to make the whole thing 0. So I'm going to take both of these, 2x minus 1, and set it equal to 0, and 4x plus 3 and set it equal to 0. Now I'm just solving for x on both sides. Okay, so I'd get 2x is equal to 1 divided by 2. So x would be 1/2. Okay, that's my first root, or 0. The second one, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. So I would get 4x equals -3 divided by 4 again, and I would get x equals -3/4. I'll write that over here. So x would equal 1/2. We're going to keep it as a fraction. Okay. So to get your roots, you're just going to set both of your factors equal to 0. Okay. Okay. Questions over any of these slides. If you want to go log in and start working on yours, I think that's probably a great idea. You'll get it done early, actually. And then if you have questions, if you'll raise your hand. I can check it and kind of give you some feedback. Ben, I'm going to give you one more attempt on your quiz, but make sure that in the future, like if you do it wrong 3 times in a row, make the same mistake, I can't give you another attempt, okay? So just make sure that if you're not doing it correctly, or you think you are, or you're mixing up signs, like especially after the second attempt of doing that same thing, make sure that you email and ask questions to clarify, okay? So that way we can get you back on the right track. I'm going to go in. Yes, I can, Jonathan. I think it was like this. All right. And if you have questions about something else, I'd be happy to work some other problems as well. We've got about 15 minutes still. Sure, Anna, what's your question? So Garrett, let me take a look at your specific test or your quiz, because then I can see. and make sure that there's not an error, but see, let me take a look. So it looks like, Garrett, you only missed one. Let me look at the one that you missed. Okay, so Garrett, on the one that you missed, did you subtract 11x first? So it would have been x squared minus 11x plus 24. Okay, yeah, that's why you got it wrong. So if it's not equal to 0, then you have to subtract the whatever's on the right-hand side of your equal sign. You have to move that over first. So when you use your second attempt, make sure that you move it over. How do you know what? So if it says, if you have like x squared plus 3 equals another number, maybe 4x or something. If it's equal to something else, you have to move that something else over first. Because now 4x minus 4x is 0. So we can't factor until it's set equal to 0. Yeah, Anna, we just went over all of the Unit B writing assignments. So I can go back through the slides if you want. Or I'll email out this recording as well. Okay, I can put the slides back up, and then I'll send out the recording, which will have all of the explanations again. So remember, these aren't the actual problems, but just problems that are very similar. Adelina, are you in here? Okay, good. Adelina, so you got your first slide correct. On your second slide, or sorry, slide 3, you did a good job factoring out your GCF. That was perfect. And then this 2x is correct, but you also still have to deal with negative 28 divided by 4. So you need to finish writing out, it's not a 0, but you need to finish the rest of that. So your x squared is going to go away, but you still have something left over to write in there.
And you said this isn't due today?
This is going to be due tomorrow.
Okay, so I can just do this one tomorrow because I just got confused on the first part.
Yeah, I just got to yours. Okay, so when you're going to take a look at this last number, and what you're going to be doing is writing out the multiples. So what can you multiply together to get 48? So do that first. So you would do like 1 and 48, 2 and 24, and then keep going. Then you're going to add them together. So keep going with the factors. You can get rid of what you currently have. So Annalise, before you get too far down this road, your A value is 1. That's correct. Your B value is 14, but your C value is 48. So this top middle should be 1 times 48. So you can leave 14 on the bottom. That was in the right spot. But your, I can show you here. So your top middle is A times C. Yeah, there you go. Okay, perfect. Yep. All right, Adelina, I'm going to come back to yours and see how you're doing. Okay, so Adelina, you got this 2x by doing 8 divided by 4, right? And that gave you 2. So what is negative 28 divided by 4? That's what you're writing in and then closing your parentheses there. Yeah, it is. It seems like a lot of work because so Anna, if you're confused about that, what you can do, the slide you're on, Adelina, slide 3. Okay, so Anna, what you can do is take 48 in your calculator, and it looked like you had already done 1 and 48, 2 and 24. So now do 48 divided by 3 in your calculator, type that in and see if you get a whole number. If not, do 48 divided by 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're going to keep going with each number until you get to a number you've already tried. Adelina, you can just type that in your calculator. You can type in negative 28 divided by 4 in your calculator. Yep, there you go. And then, yep, so now you've got it. Good. All right, and then if you'll go to your next slide, I want to show you something here. So you've got your A, B, and C identified correctly. And actually, I think okay, so this one here, you moved it right down here. That one's correct. Over here, though, this one, 3 divided by 3 is not 3. So check again. Simplify again and make sure, remember, if you need something on the bottom, yeah, put it over 1. If it's a whole number, you're still going to put it over 1 because you still have to add that one. So now you can rewrite that one. Yeah, there you go. Good job, Ben. Anna, you can't find what? Yeah, there you go. Okay, so now you put 3x plus 2 equal to 0. Okay, that's good. So divide by 3. You don't divide by x, just divide by 3. So one of your x values is negative 2/3. That's great. Now set this one equal to 0 and rewrite your answers for B, okay? Okay, so Anna, let me see what you've got written out so far. Okay, so did you do 48 divided by 4? Okay, what'd you get? I didn't see it written out, but what did you get? Okay, I see. Okay. 12 times 4. Got it. Okay, do 48 divided by 5. Does that give you a whole number? Okay, so not a whole number, right? So then try 48 divided by 6. Okay, so write those two down. Okay, yes, good. Perfect, Jonathan. There you go. You got it. Good job. Okay, Anna, so go ahead and write those two numbers down on your slide where you're writing your factors. No, you just did 6 and 8, right? You already have 1 times 48 listed there. So you have 12 times 4, 1 times 48, 2 times 24. So list your other two factors you just found. You just did 48 divided by 6. So 6 and the number that you got. Yeah, but you don't have to write it as 48 divided by 6. Just see how these other ones, you wrote it as 12 times 4 and 1 times 48. So write it as 6 times whatever number you got. Yeah, okay, so Adelina, real quick, all we're doing is solving for x. So you were right to subtract 1. So now this is just x equals -1, and that's it. You're just writing x equals. You're just trying to get to a point where you have x equals. So your roots then are -2/3 and -1. Yep, and that's it. So this is not it. But everything else, this is. So x equals x equals. That's all you have to write, okay? Does that kind of make sense? I think you were maybe trying to go a step too far. Okay, Anna, so can you tell me what you're confused about? So all I'm asking you to do is write out the factors. You wrote 1 times 48, that's perfect. That was right here. You wrote 2 times 24, perfect. 4 times 12. So now I'm asking you to write your next two factors that you just found. What times what gave you 48? Because you just found another whole number, right? So when you took the number 48 and divided it by 6, you got 8. So that means that 6 times 8 equals 48, right? Okay, so now these are your factors. We don't have any other factors because when we, yeah, but hold on for just a second. I'm trying to explain to you how to get these factors. So we don't have any other factors because if I did 48 divided by 7, I don't get a whole number. And then the next whole number I would try is 8, but we already have 8 listed. So that means these are the only 4 pairs of factors. Okay, so in the future, when you're trying to figure out the factors, if you don't know your multiplication, like if you don't have it memorized, you just have to go through each whole number at a time, 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, until you get to a number you already have written down. Bye, Adelina. Good job. Okay, so now that you know your two factors, you can plug them in your two missing spots. And now write out your factored form. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, that's it. Good. Good job. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off just so that way I can upload